What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 231 of the Cheesy Controller Podcast, your Momocon and PlayStation Showcase special. We got a jam-packed episode for you guys this week. We're going to be talking about... I'm acting like I wrote the notes down in my notebook. We're going to be talking about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Momocon, the 6.4 Final Fantasy raid, Bleach and Jujutsu Kaisen animes returning, controllerise, and the PlayStation Showcase. Alright, so I have just been playing Tears of the Kingdom like a madman. I got to the point where I was like, alright, I had gotten my first dragon tier, and then I realized you could get them out of order, so I brought up a guide of where they would all be, just so I could make sure I did them like in the correct order, even though I got a couple of them out of order. But the Dragon Tears give you the memories, and in the first game the memories told you the story of what happened like leading into the game, and this game the tears are telling you like the story that's going on. So
those are the Tears of the Kingdom?
Maybe there's also other things that there are these like, I don't even know what they look like, tears that amplify the sage's powers. So, and then there was a whole thing where one turned somebody into a dragon, and
where does we noticed your vibe from across the shrine? Where does that come in?
That is every single shrine. That is every single, well, there's only been one shrine so far where I haven't seen it. And it was because the puzzle was like in the overworld. It was like you saw like the base of the shrine and you just had to solve the puzzle to like restore the shrine essentially to get your blessing of light. But I'm probably like 45 shrines into the game. I've unlocked all the towers except for one. And that one's just a matter of going and doing it. Like, Tears of the Kingdom has just been... The one thing, if you want to beat this game, you're going to have to play with the guide. Like, everything that I need to figure out, I'm sure there'd be ways to figure it out in-game without a guide, but just playing with a guide has helped so much. Like, I'm not using it for, like, shrine solutions. I'm not using it for, like, the parts where the game actually wants you, like, it's not going to help with combat, you know? But as far
have you used any of those cheeses?
No, I haven't done any, like, and they patched out the duplication glitch, so I haven't done, like, any of the, like...
Yeah, I also heard they found another one, like...
Yeah, I'm sure they did, but I haven't used, like... Because as far as, like, materials... Like, bright blooms, you know, if you need bright blooms, just go into a cave. You know, if you need bomb flowers, just go down into the depths. They're all over the place. They're, like...
Hell yeah.
As far as, like, materials and stuff, like, I haven't even been using the amiibos every day lately because it's like I'm pretty much good on stuff. And that's the other thing, like, a lot of these smaller, like, before you'd find a Korok and you'd get a Korok seed and that, like... And, I mean, there's still that element of it where you can still expand your inventory by, like, finding more and more Koroks, but, as far as, like, there's this guy who's trying to hold up this sign and, like, they want you to build something to keep the sign up without him having to hold it. And every time you do one of those, he gives you, like, some food, like, that gives you a buff related to the area you're in. So, like, the rewards on a lot of the side content are, in my opinion, really good. And there's, outside of buying armor, and whenever I need to buy armor, I'll just sell, like, rubies and sapphires, like, just different gemstones I find, because I'm not using those for their elemental properties, really. Like, you can, and whenever I fight an enemy that's doing elemental stuff, like, I will keep, like if there's a sapphire fused to a sword and I kill an enemy that had it, and I'll use that. But I'm not really making those things so much because I have found just some of the equipment that you get to the point of just finding is just so good. It doesn't make sense. Like early on, fuse is super necessary to like make sure you have weapons to deal with what's going on around you. But like
Right.
the more that I've played is the less that I've felt it necessary to build weapons like that. And as a matter of fact, like when traveling around on the surface, I'm not even using vehicles like that because I have Sheik's like turban thing, and that gives you additional like stealth. And so all I have to do is crouch, sneak up to a horse, and any horse I can just ride. So that's been my vehicle lately, especially on the surface. Is just like,
Right.
are there?
I feel like the vehicles are less for transportation and more for just like style, finesse,
Yeah.
and maybe offense.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't built any death contraptions yet. I have
I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, and I mean, at first I was wondering how people were doing it, and I might have said this on last week's episode, but like all you need to do is get auto build, which is like one. So you get your first 4 abilities on the Sky Islands before you really get into the game, and then after that there are 2 more abilities that you can get for that same like hold down L1 and it brings up the wheel of all your abilities. The 2 that are missing are the camera and auto build. And so and you have to get the camera to get auto build, so
What? I don't know the name of the little leaf guys that you gotta like.
Koroks.
The Koroxes. So you've just kind of been, since you're not building a lot of like crazy vehicles, how are you getting them around?
Oh, the ones that need to get sent to their friend, I just ignore them because I don't feel like using my resources to solve their problems.
That's fair.
Well, at least you're not out here sacrificing them.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them burned on the cross. That's fucked up.
I want to like force one into an Ava unit.
I mean, so with auto
That
build,
seems pretty. That's a pretty serious torture right there.
yeah. But the thing with auto build, so anything you've built previously, it just lets you hold down L1. And I thought before you held down, like you use auto build and it would only use the materials around you. Turns out you can use Zonite, which is this like there are a trillion resources in this game. If you go to the key items menu, like if you go to that part of your inventory, it is just like all types of different. There are so many key items. There's Blessings of Light, there's Korok seeds, there's just like the list goes on for like forever. There are pony points, and I think I might have to find the village to like use up my pony points because they're not letting me get any more. So every time you find a new stable and you talk to the attendant, they give you a pony point for like going to the stable, and that gets you different upgrades. So like the first upgrade you get is like a tow hitch for your horse. So like if you need to carry around a wagon or anything like that, you can just drag it behind your horse. That's how people were when they were like marching the Koroks through the streets and they were riding the horse. They had to have done that. And then the next one I get is, I think it lets me dress my horses, give them like armor and stuff. So, but I think I need to go to the village that would let me use the points on that. Everything else has just been at a stable. It's like, oh, you have enough. Do you want to do it right now? And now every time I go to the stable, they're like, you need to go to this village. and I have been to like 3 villages across Hyrule, maybe, because my thing lately has been, all right, I'm trying to unlock these towers, and then through unlocking the towers, I'm trying to see where the geoglyphs are, get those the dragon tears from those, and then any shrines that I see along the way, I'm gonna do just so. Because I finally have 2 full stamina wheels, and I think I have like 6 hearts. So, like, my stats are getting pretty decent. So, I'm trying to think. Like, I beat. There are the 4, like, anomalies. I beat the one in the Rito village, and then I'm doing the one in the Gora? No. The Goron and the Zonai are the 2 that I haven't done. But what's the name of the race of female warriors? I know somebody knows.
Or Uru.
Something like that. I don't remember.
But the
Ruda.
Garuda?
Garuda?
Okay, so it's Goron and Garuda. I knew there were 2 that sounded alike, but yeah,
Oh,
the
maybe that's
Garuda. So I started the quest for them, but then I got sidetracked because I need heat-resistant armor because they're in the desert. And so it's either I have to progress that a little bit by bit at nighttime because I have cold-resistant armor. And like the desert, it gets super hot during the day and super cold at night. So, considering I already did all this stuff in the actual snow region and had armor for that, I either have to do it bit by bit during in-game nighttime, or I have to just go find the armor. But
Can't you craft some cool drink?
yeah, I could, and I probably have the materials. It's just I'd have to look up how to make that, and I really just cook for like healing items, like pure
Yeah.
healing.
I mean, you said you used the guide, right? It's right there. You know what you want to make now.
Yeah. But those are on time because that's what I had to do at first for the snow area is like cold resistant food.
Exactly. But once you get there, you'll find the shit to keep you warm or to keep you cool in this case.
I made it there and I started the quest. It's just the vendor isn't there and I haven't been able to find the vendor. And so the thing's like, yeah, you just got to talk to this person and they'll get you into the secret club. And I talked to everybody where the person should have been, but I just haven't seen them. So I'll just, there's also options of like fusing a stick to a piece of sapphire that does like gives off this ice aura, and I can just keep that on my back.
There's just so much shit you can do in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like that's.
It sounds like you got options.
Yeah, you always every single problem like and shrines like. So you can fuse a rocket to your shield, and if you ready your shield, it boosts you straight up. And I've used that to cheese so many shrines. It'll be like, I see that there's a way to get up there, and I could probably figure it out. But instead, I'm just going to strap... The problem is you can't do it in the shrine. So I always leave the shrine, drop the rocket on the ground, fuse it to my shield, and then go back in and then just shield boost straight up, and then glide across. And the amount of dungeons I've cheesed. And the pro tip is bomb flowers. If you fuse bomb flowers to an arrow and shoot a target, like I know they want you to hit the target with like they try and make you do like pinball type things, and just shoot any target you see with the bomb arrow, it'll activate it. And so as far as cheesing like that, I haven't done any of the glitching stuff, but I have done a lot of the tools are in the game for you to do this, so I've done them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
But yeah, so I have, I'd say 2.5 more of the regional things. I'm working on getting the Master Sword right now because I looked up the guide on how to do that, and they were like, just don't do it before you get all the Dragon Tears. And I have all the Dragon Tears except for like the 2 that you have to almost beat the game to get. So I'm gonna go now and get the Master Sword. I'm stuck on this mini boss that it's ridiculous. Like I might need to go get more bomb flowers to make more bomb arrows because you have to fight this one enemy that's already like super hard to beat, like down in this pit, and then you have to fight the mini boss that I did 2 attempts of trying that mini boss, got him below half both times, but he's a fucking menace. So all I have to do is beat that, and then I'll get the first memory. So there are like 20 memories. I think like half of them are linked to geoglyphs, and then the rest are story points that you have to make it to. And
So it's like half story, half like just travel.
well,
Like
I
go
mean,
exploring.
all of them are the story. Like there is very little like overworld, like you talk to somebody and something happens. Like almost all of them are you unlocking these memories through getting the tears or doing the story. Like so when I beat the Wind Temple, there was a memory that played at the end of that. So it'll be like story sections of like, okay, you did this whole dungeon thing. Now we're going to like explain to this part of the story to you. But yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun just running around Hyrule, going up like because I mainly focus on like the surface of Hyrule, but the Sky Islands, the more and more I'm up there, the more and more I'm doing and unlocking shrines up there. And then in the depths, it's just every time I end up in the depths, I just do what I can, but the more
What goes on down there? Just like tough enemies?
Yeah, that and there's gloom on the ground and gloom.
The fuck is Gloom?
It's like Malice in the first game, except more deadly. So
okay.
What it does, like if you stand in it or get hit by an enemy who's afflicted by it, it removes one of your hearts. So
so you can't. That's not even something you can heal past.
right. So like that's the thing. If they hit you and like let's say the hit does 3 hearts of damage and one of those hearts is gloom, you can only heal back 2 out of those 3 hearts until you find a light route or go back to the surface to purify yourself. And then it's like pitch black down there. So that's why you will go. A lot of times you'll find yourself going into caves to get bright blooms because those you attach to your arrows and they light up like a certain radius around where you shoot. And so you just got to you will be standing there and you're not sure if you're standing in front of a mountain, in front of a huge valley, or in front of just some like flat land. You have to like individually sit there and like meticulously like, because a lot of times you'll see things off in the distance and it's like, all right, I'm trying to get to whatever that building is over there, but like between here and that building is all pitch black. So like arrow by arrow, bright bloom by bright bloom, you're just like kind of charting your own path through the underground. And so that's really interesting where like Hyrule and the Sky Islands, you can see like, oh, I can't walk that way because there's a river. But underground, like you might hear a river, but you won't see it unless you like illuminate where it is.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I mean it's been, I'm probably like, I'd say 25 hours in. Like, the Switch still isn't great at giving you playtime statistics. Like, I remember when they
It's
first
a
started
shame.
doing it, like, it's like every 5 hours it updates. So, like,
Mhm.
that was a lot better than where PlayStation just didn't give you any stats. But now that PlayStation actually gives you hour by hour breakdowns, like, I'd like to know if I'm closer to 23 or 25 hours, you know?
Yeah.
But I think I will be able to have it beat by the time Final Fantasy comes out because with doing all the geoglyphs and now I'm doing the 4 regional phenomena and now I have 1.5 of those 4 done. So yeah, it's just I'm kind of on critical path mode. Like if I do see a shrine that's like I have to be here anyway, and so I'll do the shrine here.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean it's so far really good. I'd say it's probably the most fun and the game that I've thought about the most this year. Like when I'm not playing it, like when I'm not playing 14 or I'm not playing Monster Hunter, I'm not really particularly thinking about those games.
Yeah,
But
who would do that?
I mean, I've been there with those games before. It's just
Yeah.
I'm not actively in the throes of it the way I
Yeah.
am with Zelda right now.
I mean, it makes sense. Zelda's is fresh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since I brought up 14, we can also knock out the 14 story I had. The 6.4 rate, the last series of the normal raid came out, and there's
Yes.
also a new dungeon and new trial. And I know
Yes.
that we've all done the dungeon. Well, except Jalen. So Chris, Madrid, and I, we all did the dungeon, and we did all 4 parts of the final series of the raid, and it's a lot. Have either of you
Yeah.
done the trial?
No, I haven't
No,
done the trial yet.
I just made it to the moon again,
Okay,
and
you're
I'm
probably
in.
getting close. 'Cause-
Yeah, I'm getting pretty close to it. So I think that probably tomorrow, since it's down for maintenance today, since this is the Monday, I'll probably go in tomorrow and try and knock that out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, the resets tomorrow, so we got to get some more.
Yep.
armor.
We got to run the entire.
Oh
raid series
yeah,
again.
yeah. This raid,
Bro,
fucking savage. This is tough, but it's definitely fun and like doing it that first the first kind of day.
Yeah.
Like nobody really knows the raid, so you're legit just going through doing like making progress, figuring out mechanics. Like
Yeah.
people are in chat, like, okay, all right. So when the spider web is on you, go stand by the pillars. That way you bind to something, but don't bind to anybody else. And then it's like, okay, the more you kind of go through it, it's like if I stand in this perfect spot, I won't bind to anything, and I won't have to worry about somebody breaking me out or
Yeah.
like my health getting super low.
yeah.
And that soundtrack,
The whole, every 4 circles, like,
yeah,
they were hitting. And we were getting our ass kicked up. Like, the first and the third one, they're all right. They're not really that, like, crazy, but, like...
Yeah, the first and
the
the third
second
one
one-
are smooth. They're fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, the first night, that second one, that
Oh.
legit felt like Savage Raid progging because we were just in there and it's like we'd figure out the mechanic. Like the first time we wiped on the second boss-
Pandemonium got hands.
Yeah, Pandemonium
Pandemonium just
definitely. Oh, spider leg thing.
legs.
But it's
Crab
like
thing?
Eye lasers.
Bro.
oh, like the fact that it goes left and then right or right and then left. It's
Yeah, that's
right.
fucked up.
shady as shit.
Right, big dark side energy. But yeah, it's definitely dope. The second and the fourth level are definitely the hardest. At this point, my opinion is that the fourth is like a bitch and a half.
Yeah, the thing with the fourth is even if you know the mechanics, it'll
It fucks you.
still fuck you up.
Yeah, it'll fuck you. She might cast a knockback when there's like 2 platforms. She might fucking
Bro,
like do the wing mechanic, and you're moving, like dodging the AoE, but you didn't move
right.
it like
Fast enough.
which is
You
weird.
have
I'm
to
like,
move
damn.
early. You have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to
that.
move before.
I mean, she is so much of an asshole. I think the first time that I played it, we were wiping like they did like the healer did a limit break 3, brought everybody back, but as everyone came back, she knocked back and everybody died.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh my god,
it was shady as fuck.
That was the actual worst. At LB3 into a knockback off, like play the fucking game.
Right.
That shit hurts some feelings, and like running through this on healer is definitely, it took some. It was demanding.
Yeah.
I mean, running through it on tank, the amount of tank busters that the entire raid series is just like, all right.
Yeah, like the second layer when they break off the tanks, it's like, all right, here comes your tank busters.
Right. There are 2 towers that are just specifically to hurt tanks.
Yeah, and then there's the point where he's just like, all right, here's a knockback into a heal check.
Bro,
if both healers aren't healing, you're fucked.
Right.
If one of them is healing and the other is kind of healing, you're fucked.
Pandemonium would do like a stack up that took everybody down to 1/3 health, and then be like, all right, healer check, and just like hit a raid wide over and over and over again.
Right. It's like, yo, you can't be in here just like doing your DPS shit. Like, please heal. Please heal.
And then the DPS
I got the barriers out.
in the fourth one is super shady because they hit the individual cleaves, and then all of the so you got to kill like 4 mini versions of the boss, and all of those do a line AoE that does a Vone up stack, and there's like 2 out of the 8 people and it's just a random 2 every time, are going to get this attack that if they're near anybody, they get cleaved. So
yeah, and that's just constantly going off. So it's like you really have
to DPS check. So you have to kill these 4 enemies.
Crazy DPS, but you also have to do a good amount of healing.
Yeah, this raid was not Black Mage friendly.
Yeah, like that's the.
I don't think I ran it once.
Yeah, you were on Red Mage because we needed those reses. We needed those as many reses as we could get. We needed every single one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, asking a healer to rest at this point is so demanding. It's like, well, I'm about to lose a lot of MP.
There was I was like, Madrid, I got it. Don't worry about it. I'll rest them. I got this.
Right, when you
just
every
keep healing.
We've run part of it, and 2 of the healers are in the chat, or Chris is in there with one of our healers. It was like, all right, I got this one. Like you're hearing them talk more than anybody else is talking about anything else.
Yeah, and that was another thing when we did the second part with you, Chris. Like there was a point where everybody was like, "All right, we each have to kind of like get one of these little towers because the tower was spawned, and everybody had to stand in one, or else you're gonna get Vone ups." And right after he does that, there's going to be a few AoEs that will kill you if you have more than one. So
depending on where your health is at, they'll kill you if you have one.
Yeah, honestly. So we legit had to be like, well, I'm in the back, so like casters in the back,
take tanks in the back,
up front, and then
tanks up front,
melee DPS just
DPS float, fill in. I'm like, hey, I'm on the back left, so I'm gonna get that one every time.
Right, and I was in the front middle, so I could go left or right depending on where the other tank went. That one time we ran it with that other tank as a Lalafell, and I was like, I am not seeing. I'm like,
guys, we're not gonna make it. And it was like, no, he's there. Douche,
right under you.
Douche. And I'm like, oh fuck.
All right, so Chris. when Pandemonium, that cutscene that introduced Pandemonium as a boss, what game did you associate that with? Because I gotta get your fresh take on it as somebody who wasn't there when we first saw it.
Okay, hold on. I'm going back to it. What game did? So it was not a Bayonetta.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's immediately what I thought when I saw that
That's
boss.
immediately what I thought.
1000% Bayonetta.
Juwan was like, "What in the Nier Automata?" And then right after, I'm like, "What in the Bayonetta?" But yeah, Bayonetta 100%.
Yeah,
That is
big Bayonetta.
the second boss of that raid was ripped straight out of Bayonetta. And then Darren brought up that there are some enemies in Final Fantasy 13 that look like it. And after Darren brought that up, I
That
totally
makes
see
sense.
it. But
That makes a lot of sense. I see that.
all right.
Huh.
So we got a couple anime launch dates for everybody to get hype about. We got an official trailer to see that Bleach is coming back July 8th. 1,000-Year
Eat
Blood
that.
War. We are eating. I'm so glad they gave me that
Eating.
Bleach
Oh, man.
lanyard at fucking Momocon. I was like,
I had the option to choose, and I was like, "Oh, is this Bleach?" Matt's is not what this is.
I didn't get an option to choose, but they gave me the best option. I don't even know what the other option was, but it
like
wasn't Bleach.
Zom 100. I'm like, I haven't watched that yet. So,
And it'll never be part of the big three, so. So we got Bleach coming back July 8th. I highly recommend you go check out that trailer. That trailer's straight heat. And we have
they're really like crushing it with the production value on these trailers.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean the show, like.
Well, yeah, in the show,
first
but like
four,
just the hype they pack into the trailer, and like it even nods back to the previous trailer. And then they changed the color shift to be like we're on the Quincy blue.
So we got that, and then we have Jujutsu Kaisen coming back July 6th. So that week, and like we know Bleach is probably going to be like 13 episodes, but Jujutsu Kaisen is supposed to be back for 6 months. We're supposed to get the entirety of the flashback arc and the entirety of Shibuya in this next core of animation.
Oh, they're gonna be hurt.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean they're going to be hurt, but also they're going to be eating. Like anime onlys, like you're about to get some of the best content out of JJK just unprovoked.
Man. Oof, I waited for this day for so long.
Right? Since
Shibuya
Since Oki got introduced, I'm ready.
Right, and it's like they like Mappa does have a shit ton of things that they're doing right now, but they know deep down in the pits of their souls that JJK is their moneymaker, is their bread and butter, and even Attack on Titan has taken a step back. And
Attack on Titan just needs to goddamn end at this point.
The next one's the last one.
We'll
so they
see.
say.
Right.
So they say, right? And then you watch it and they're like,
years.
And then you watch it and it's like, yeah, so there's another movie coming. Another 3 to 4 episodes in the one. It's like, okay.
They could have marketed that last thing as a movie. I don't know why they acted like it was just an episode and then was over an hour long.
I don't know. It was a moment though. But I said all that to say, like, JJK, they're giving us the amount of episodes and they're putting the quality into those episodes that we are really looking for. Because like even Chainsaw Man was like, what, 13 episodes?
Yeah.
Hell's Paradise, another 13.
Yeah, and I mean, Bleach, they did 13 for the first core. They had that last episode that was like 45 minutes. So, like,
Bleach explained everything at the beginning of the first one. It was like, because what is it 3 or is it 4 consecutive?
Four cores. 4 cores. And I mean, just looking at how they've broken it up so far, like, it seems like they're cutting a lot of the fat. And
proper 52.
yeah, they're doing the pacing right. So
Yeah. This kind of like how I always said it would be. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna trim off a bunch of the bullshit. They're gonna add new content like
Yep.
Shinji's Bankai.
we'll see.
See,
Right.
we'll see what happens.
Because I
but-
mean,
I mean,
we got
he
the
said it in the
original Ghost
trailer.
13.
Bankai.
Yeah, but
they're not about to say that, and then the shit just never happened on some. Yeah, it was off screen type shit. No.
Can't be.
No. Even Kubo came out and said, yeah, the things that we're adding.
Kubo is just out here living his best life, and now we just need Burn the Witch season 2, volume 2 of the manga. Like, come on, Kubo, you don't have to keep hurting us like this. Don't make Burn the Witch. Make Burn the Witch a thing just overnight, and then be like, yeah, that was it.
We're gonna get it in spurts. That's what it's gonna be, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but it's just been a really long time since the last
Yep.
spurt. Like,
Yep, and it might be some more.
let me see when the volume or so it came out October 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been almost 2 full years since we've gotten anything Burn the Witch.
Definitely been some time. But hey, it is what it is. I am excited to see JJK and like Bleach like come into the same season. That's gonna be awesome.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it was cool having that with Chainsaw Man, but like these two have a special synergy,
Mhm. I gotta watch Bleach, I guess.
Fuck yeah.
You gotta read Bleach.
I can watch this. It's pretty piped up.
The
Just,
problem with watching Bleach
skip around
is
some of
it's
the
one of
filler.
those, like, yeah, there's a watch order to it because there's so much filler in the original Bleach that it's like there will be multiple seasons of filler back to back, and you'll get really burnt out watching
It came from a different time.
Yeah, it came from back when like they had to give the manga time to come out and like get through some arcs so that they had content to animate for the anime. So
But then also they changed the pacing because remember they only did the first half of the Substitute Soul Reaper arc.
what, in the manga or in the anime?
In the anime, they didn't do the entirety of it.
I feel like they did. They just kind of
Skipped over it.
Well, so what I thought with Substitute Soul Reaper, they added a lot of like 1 episode filler episodes into those early seasons that were just kind of like, I didn't mind them as much watching it back before I read the manga, but yeah, if you want to watch Bleach, you got to just look up like what episodes to watch and what episodes not to watch until you get up to the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. But if you want like good pacing, you could just read the manga because how many volumes is it? It's 74 volumes.
for the best pacing with anything, you should probably read the manga.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, Demon Slayer has been doing it well. Like, I will say, like, as far as these newer anime, Demon Slayer's pacing has been on point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last season, I feel like the pacing has been kind of fast, maybe?
Well, I mean,
I don't
it's
know, but
faster
maybe.
than the manga because the manga would drag its feet on a lot of things, and the anime is just kind of like, all right, we're going to show
Get to
this, but we're not going to take an entire chapter for this conversation. This conversation is going to happen in the span of like 5 minutes in an episode, and we're going to call it a day. Like, I don't feel like they've really cut out anything that was necessary.
Yeah, nothing necessary has been cut from Demon Slayer from what I've seen. The only one doing shit like that was The Promised Neverland. And we see where that got it forgotten about.
Chose
That
to do
series-
it wrong. They just chose to do that.
That series is like fucking banished to the goddamn Shadow Realm because of its decisions. Crazy.
I hope
Crazy.
they redo it so I could actually get that, but I might. That's one that I'm probably just going to end up reading the manga.
Oh yeah, the manga is like 8 out of 10.
And the show is like -1. First
Damn.
season was like a
No,
9.
the first season.
First season was like a 9. Second season was like a -4.
Like honestly, like Promise Neverland would have ranked higher if the last couple arcs had been better. It just kind of got away from like what it was like initially, and not in a good way. So it got worse. It was a series that was like it was good. It was like fucking masterpiece levels, and then like kind of like floated around that range, and then just slowly got worse.
That's fine. It's also not ridiculously long, so
Yeah, and it's not bad. It's just the anime second season.
Yeah, like if you want to get into it, I highly like. One of my coworkers a while ago was like, "Yeah, the only anime that I've ever seen that I like is Death Note. Like, I want something suspenseful like that." And I was like, "All right, check out The Promised Neverland season 1." Like,
Psychopaths.
well, I've
Good old Psychopaths.
Okay.
Fucking CSI.
Yeah. If you like police procedurals, you can't go wrong with Psychopaths.
And The Minority Report.
Yep. Got a little bit of that in it too.
I was gonna try and transition to an event from the Minority Report, but so we actually went outside this week. There were 3 events attended by the Cheesy Boys in the course of the last week. So I guess we'll start with the smallest one and work our way up to the bigger one. So the smallest one I'd say would be the Jazz Festival. Jalen, I know you and I both went out.
Is that the smallest one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's kind of Piedmont Park.
Yeah, there were.
It doesn't fit inside.
I feel like it's the less related to what we do here. But like I was on Instagram, I saw plenty of people there.
Oh yeah, there were seas of people there, but yeah, it's the least related to what to the cheesy controller MO. So we went out. Were there any particular acts that you saw of note, Jalen? Because
nope, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was in a lawn chair the entire time day drinking. That's my entire jazz festival. The music was good, and I was day drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the thing. I couldn't tell you any of the artists I saw. I was just out there chilling out, laying on a picnic blanket and just jazz coming from the general area of the stage. So
This is nice.
Yep. A good way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
all right. So
Fuck with that.
yeah, Jazz Festival, highly recommend if you're in Atlanta next summer. Check it out. It's usually Memorial Day weekend, which means it's directly competing with several other things. But going to now this is probably the smallest in magnitude, but the next biggest as far as relation to us, we went to the return of Controllerise. Controllerise is back every Monday. If you know, you know. Controllerise.com.
You know.
Get them tickets. I got a sticker that I put in my phone case.
Nice.
Right.
I got one too, but it's I had to get up to get it.
Yeah, I have a couple extras, so and it seems like they will just be giving them out. So if you want one, maybe you can get a couple extras tonight, Madrid, because you're going back. They're doing cosplay and stuff for this. The tiredness off of last Monday kind of lingered with me throughout the week, and then I was just like, I gotta have energy for this.
See, the key is to not drink too much.
I didn't. You
won't
drank
get
way
it.
more than me.
Did I?
Yes.
I had 2 drinks.
There. I had like
3 drinks.
there.
3 total.
Damn.
I want to call a cap.
That count made me
I had
really
one
feel
before
like
I
I'm not
left,
in a-
and I had 2 while I was there.
Yeah, but
That's
that one
it.
before you left, was that a typical size? Was that a bartender
Yeah.
regulated drink?
It was
Hell
about
no.
this. It was about this size.
Oh,
One
The
shot of
glass could
tequila.
be that size.
About 1 shot of tequila, and then like the rest of it was full of cut water.
Let's not pretend that's not mixing two alcoholic beverages together.
There were margarita cut waters, so you know.
Still cut water.
Okay.
No, I feel that. That's really, really good.
It's really, really good. You just add a little more tequila to it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Oh no, but I like Tuesday. I was done. I was like, man, fuck. I wish I could take the whole day off. I just took the first hour. I was like, I need the whole day. Jeez.
There was some day I overslept and got to work like super late, but it definitely wasn't Tuesday. Might have been Wednesday or Thursday where it was just
Mhm.
like, oh shit. Like the tiredness caught up with me, and I remember getting up, starting to get ready, and apparently at some point I fell back asleep and just there were no alarms or nothing like after that
Oh
point.
man, just raw dog in life.
You know, I feel like that. But yeah, it's I'm glad to see it back. It's a special type of vibe,
Yep.
you know, than seeing some of the others, like the other events that have come afterwards, like just being back up there. It's like, yo, this is kind of where some of these things generated.
Yeah. I mean, like
And-
there was like the lag, and there was cartridge. There were all these different things that like had small pockets of the people that made controllerise what it was, but controllerise being back brought all those pockets together, and then it was like the energy of it felt like it was all the people who were there before, in addition to like all the people who should have been there before. Like, so
Yeah.
a lot of people who brought their friends. And so, like, Nino was there, and Nino brought his little brother. And I think his little brother was too young to come, like, pre-pandemic. And then now that we've had, like, 3 years of it being gone, like, now he's old enough to show up and hang out. And so, like, it was just kind of like a lot of those, like, I saw, like, I'd say 90% of the people, like, Travis was back, like, it was a real time skip of like an anime time skip of
That's how it was like that last time we came back. It was like, oh wow, time skip, and it was like, but wait,
right.
there's more.
This was the OVA in the middle of the time skip.
But yeah, no, it was dope. You know, people seem to be doing good, glowing and shit.
Yeah.
You know, you love to see it.
Get a lot of
The
that
vibes.
positive energy. Yeah.
The vibes were curated. Monday night has cocktails now.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, the difference maker was made.
And they have like in-house food, so like
Yes,
Oh.
It was pretty good. I should have got a
Game-
second one.
game changer. Yeah, I'm
Do
probably
they do the tacos and
when I
everything?
go.
I'm sure they have the possibility of being there. I don't think they were there last Monday, but like Monday night serves like brick
Yeah,
up
they got their
pizza.
own like Oh, that's cool.
Good.
So it like before, all you could get like on a food basis was like vendors that they brought in, but now
Mhm.
Monday night has their own like entire
Yeah.
setup for making pizza.
Yeah, I found a random Monday night in like Birmingham, Alabama when I had to go out there to work, and they had like their own food was like a taco stand or whatever. But it was like Monday nights like kitchen.
Okay.
So I was like, I didn't know I figured they would do that first here in Garage, so it's cool that they got their own food.
Yep. It looked good, but I had eaten right before I went, so I was like, let me not spend extra money on food that I don't really need.
Good call. Good call.
All right. So, on to the biggest event This might have had the most attendees, and it was kind of one of the biggest events for me personally. Momocon 2023. We went.
Yes, sir.
The unfortunate part is, so I talked about applying for press passes months ago. Like, I had submitted my application to get a press pass, like, legitimately months ago, and they got back to me. So the con started Thursday, ran through Sunday, uh, and they got back to me Tuesday night. So I didn't have time to like request off work to be able to go Thursday and Friday and like where it wasn't as crowded
Yeah.
Right.
because Saturday was just packed out, and then Sunday I went to the jazz festival. So, but it was when I say like if you want to check out the Twitter or the Discord, like the cosplays are crazy. Angelina and I went dressed as Beast Boy and Raven. Even though if I wasn't
Cool.
standing directly next to her, everybody thought I was the Joker. Because I had green hair and a purple jumpsuit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it was really like I hadn't been to an anime convention in probably over a decade. And for the one
Oh.
back is like being Momocon and like the amount of people that I saw there that I knew, the amount of people like. So I ran into Kyle from controllerise, and he's like, the podcast has been going great, and it's always great to like interact with people and have people come up to you and be like, hey, the podcast that you do every week, that you're not like, we see the different numbers in different places, and it's like metrics are one thing, but like having people actually talk to you and actually recognize you and know who you are because of the podcast, like having all of those things, it was just like a really like being there as press and like talking to people about just like their experience with the con and like seeing the crazy cosplays, and then the dealer's room. I had to pry myself away. They had a complete inbox Japanese copy of Final Fantasy VI for the Super Famicom that I just had to. I was like, I cannot do this to myself.
Yeah. I went down there. I had like my blinders on, so I was like,
the first time I
could
went
only
down
see
there
what's in front of me.
to the dealer's room was with Madrid, and like both we were actively looking for people, so we didn't take enough time to stop and like look at anything. Like we didn't even go by the booth that was the booth that really was calling my name, because
Yeah.
I went back down there with Angelina, and like Madrid, we walked down through the middle. Like Angelina and I snaked back and forth.
Oh yeah. If it like doing that is dangerous, but you do get to meet a lot of really dope artists that way, and like follow new people on socials, and then get some of their prints and figures and stuff. So it's definitely dope. I saw a lot of I like they had DMC from Run DMC. He was down there, like um, just different people that I've seen on like TikTok and stuff like that were down there, like pushing their manga or their comics or just different products and shit. It was really cool. Like,
That's cool.
yeah, Artist Alley, it hits.
And they had like a was that like a makeshift WWE ring in the back? So
Yeah, they had wrestling.
yeah, like there was just a
Just in the
wrestling
back.
ring next to the food in the back of like the exhibition hall, because they had all the cars. So like if you look on the Twitter thread, I did a post entirely dedicated to some of the cool cars I saw, and like
There was a 2B car.
there was a two,
Yeah,
and luckily
saw
I
that.
found like when I went and took a picture of it, there was a 2B cosplayer posing in front of the 2B car. So it was
As
just,
my watch gives me my 2B wallpaper.
I was like, this is entirely too on brand for Cheesy the Controller to be somewhere and them to have a 2B Tesla. That was the other thing about it, was it was a Tesla.
Robots driving robots.
I don't think it was her car, like the cosplayer, but it was cool. Trying to think. I didn't really get to go to any panels or anything like that, but I really I was able to be part of some of the photo shoots and going around
Yeah, there was the black cosplayers photo shoot. I remember seeing that. They were doing the Spider-Man. They were trying to break the Spider-Man record when I was pulling up. I think the record was like over 600, like Spider-Man,
spider people.
Spider folk. The stipulations were it has to be something like from either the show comic books or like not like a fan made cosplay type shit basically. But I think they only ended up hitting like the 400 mark, so a little over 400, something like that. But that's still a lot. That's still a lot of spider people in one place. So there was a lot of just pointing at each other like, hey, like, yeah, you see it.
I gotta go back in my pictures to see some of the really cool cosplays I saw. So I saw a dude in full ebony Otogirin armor from Monster Hunter with the switch axe. That was really cool.
Where was he?
That was like when I first got there. That was
that's the ebony Otogirin taste.
I want to say it's in the thread. I think that was one of the ones that got chosen, like, because I just kind of went through and like the highlight pictures. Yeah, Ebony Otogirin full armor was in the thread on the Twitter. Who else did I see? Mr. Universe, like there was somebody dressed as Steven's dad
I saw
with the
that.
entire van.
That's cool.
There was a Shovel Knight that was like extremely good. Like next level good on the Shovel Knight. There was a photo shoot of, it was like most of the cast of Persona 3 in Catherine. So it was just kind of like that little Atlas pocket of people. And then
I did see some of the Scions plus 0.
Yeah. So I took a picture of some cosplayers I saw as Alice and Grahatia. But there were some more that, like, I saw Yestola that I just didn't get a chance to take a picture of because, like, there were like 4 floors and then there were the escalators. So, like, if you see somebody going down the down escalator and you're going up and you want to get a picture of the cosplay, like, just that loop around to turn back around and get down and try and catch up with them was entirely too much. So I didn't get to take as many Final Fantasy XIV cosplay photos as I wanted to, but yeah, I had a lot of fun. And then the one thing, I didn't do a lot of gaming stuff. Like I went and walked around like the retro gaming area and saw like where they were doing like the Smash tournaments and stuff like that. But they had they had like rows and rows of Japanese arcade cabinets. And so I walked around and I didn't see it at first, but they had one Theater Rhythm arcade cabinet. And turns out playing Japanese arcade games is really hard when you don't read Japanese.
That's fair.
Yeah, I see why that would help.
Yeah, you know.
Just a little bit. Just
navigating those menus, a lot of times I would just have to let stuff time out and hope it progressed me and wouldn't kick me back to like the main menu. Because the one song I wanted to do was the Titan theme from 14. And so I eventually got to be able to do that and took some pictures of the cabinet because that was like one of those things of like I really enjoyed playing Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line on PlayStation, but just learning there was an arcade version, I was like, oh yeah, I really want to play this. Like
Needs it.
And the fact that I found the only one that they had like Hasune Miku, they had DJ Max Respect, they had like several of like a bunch of these other rhythm games. And just,
what's the drumming one? Isn't that like Taiko no
yeah, they had a bunch of Taiko no Tatsujin. I didn't play any of that because the lines were kind of crazy. But
for obvious reasons.
Yeah. But
did you catch any of the Smash tournament?
No, like they were like in between matches when I was down there because you could kind of see like the screen for the main stage from like the arcade where the arcade cabinets were, but they were in between matches in the little bit of time that I was down there waiting, and then I played one round, but so like when I got there, there was just one kid in front of me, and I went and I just waited for the kid to be finished, and then there like three people formed a line behind me, so I'm like, all right, I'll just do this one song and get out the way, so I'm not like hogging this arcade cabinet.
Very
Yeah.
kind of you.
But yeah, shout out to Momocon.
Shouts out to Momocon. Momocon is lit because when, like, let's say when the sun starts setting a little bit more, there's also the option of just like chilling outside and not being in the heat and just kind of like, vibing, getting some fresh air. Like,
Yeah.
people are out there with like music. Like, shouts out to like some people from the controllerise group and like
Milan.
Oxzilla, like they're out there just making beats on the spot, playing some of their shit, just playing new music. This is definitely a vibe,
Isn't there a whole ass rave?
Yeah, the rave is on Saturday night. And actually on Friday night they partnered with Trap Sushi, and
Oh, that's cool.
so that was dope. They had like a very black cosplay party with Trap Sushi, which was, everybody said it was really dope. I didn't go because I didn't feel like leaving the house on Friday. But yeah, so that was definitely a thing. So check that out. I'm sure next year is going to be more lit.
Yeah.
Next year, panel.
Yeah.
We're gonna try.
We're gonna start. We're gonna start doing the legwork for it now, so we're not last minute. So we know we're going to be getting those exhibitioner badges. Because like the press could have gotten me in for some of the interviews. The problem was on Saturday there was nobody I felt like I could ask any questions that would be of any use to anybody.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't as familiar with like some of the voice actors' work that was there. So I was like, I could have gone into the press room for those things, but
I mean, shit, Johnny Young Bosch was there.
yeah, but Johnny Young Bosch wasn't in the interview room on Saturday.
Right.
He was down in the autograph area.
Yeah, and his line was through the roof.
So that would have been cool. Like if I were able to talk to Johnny Young Bosch, I'd be like, how does it feel like being Ichigo? Like, got any cool?
Baby. Like number one.
Right?
As soon as you ask him, you just hear the music playing. He's like, yeah, that's what it feels like. Like, how did you do that? Don't worry about it.
But yeah, definitely. Like I haven't been back to Momocon since like 2011. Like for this being my first con back, like and getting my first ever press pass and cosplaying like legitimately for the first time, there were a lot of highlights to it. So had a lot of fun. All right. So the last thing I have on our notes to cover, since it's just been such a jam-packed week, was the PlayStation had their 2023 showcase. And I want to get out of the way that for me, this was not it. This is not what we wanted. They were better off calling this an extended state of play. PlayStation really acted like they were going to do a PlayStation showcase, like an E3, like what was that, 2016, where they did like
banger.
I mean, like honestly, for the most part, I enjoyed the showcase, but I definitely agree. It probably they should have just said it was a state of play.
Right. There was from
like watching it, my expectations kind of melted away, and I was just like, yeah. I think it's because I was at work. I was just like, yeah, let me just see what they got. So anything they showed, I was like, oh yeah. But I'm sure you're like, what is this? This isn't Silent Hill.
And it's like a lot of the big announcements we either knew would be there or got leaked ahead of time. So
there's nothing nobody can do about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for keep their shit tight. But how many people can do that,
All right. So I guess we'll go through game by game. And just you guys, I'll give like my anything that I took note of while the showcase is going on. I'll throw those in there. But starting off from Haven, we got Fair Games. We got like a cinematic trailer. It's going to be like
Yeah, that look cool. The only thing with that is, at this point we're X amount of years into the live service trend, and it's like this seems to be PvP, PvE type shit, like with heist mechanics. It seems cool, but we really
right.
we're just speculating based on it. We're speculating based on the CG trailer.
Right.
Mhm.
We like this was one of the two new PlayStation first parties that they've acquired in the last year, and like it's good to see what they're working on, but I don't feel, and I mean it had a cool aesthetic. I just don't
Right.
feel like it did anything to like convince people like me that like there's anything here to be looking forward to. So then we got Helldivers 2, which is the one thing out of our predictions episode that I predicted because like that game had leaked multiple times, so it was good to see it finally be shown. It looks like they cranked up the humor and cranked up the production budget on the game, so
It looks solid, a nice little. Was it like a 3-person, 4-person squad shooting some aliens
Like
with your
fourth
homies?
person, yeah.
the first one I remember being really hard and friendly fire was on, and for it to be top down, like you deploy a turret to like do an AOE to like wipe out a bunch of aliens, but if anybody on your team were in front of that turret, they'd be just as dead as the aliens. So
Yeah, it's definitely got those Starship Trooper vibes. So that's a plus.
Then we got Immortals of Avium, where it's like a first-person magic. It looked kind of Bioshocky, but considering it's coming from EA, I have zero faith that it's going to be on the quality level of Bioshock. We got Ghost Runner 2, which is one of the announcements I was most hyped for, like adding the motorcycle to that.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy Ghost Runner because I don't like those types of games, but I see where that game is dope. And the trailer was piped up. I know I'm not going to play it until it's free on PlayStation, and I played for like an hour, and I'm like, man, this game pisses me off. And then I uninstall it.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
Like
That is okay.
I'm not going to say it's a bad game though. That's the difference.
Right.
It's not for me.
And I mean, for me, Ghost Runner 1 is one that I just didn't beat. It would be a game I probably restarted that game like 3 times and got, I'd say, like probably halfway through it both times. But it would just be, or I'd get to this one encounter over and over again that I just couldn't beat. Like what it wanted me to do, couldn't beat it, so I'd put it down. But I might go back again, fool myself into believing I can beat this game before the second one comes out.
Yeah, just gaslight yourself into it. You can do it.
Yeah.
All
Do
right.
it. Don't gaslight yourself. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
So the next game we got, it was a third-person Ronin-looking game, and then the next thing I noticed was that the combat looked super slick, and that game is Phantom Blade Zero.
I was about to call it Spirit Blade, but yeah, that shit looks dope. Like cinematic, like combat in it. Like each fight did look different, and
the only thing,
that game looks sick as fuck.
The only
I hope
thing
it actually comes out.
It definitely will come out because the studio behind it has Phantom Blade Zero is not the first Phantom Blade game. It's just the first one coming to the West and the first console one. But as far as Phantom Blade, it's been a mobile series with flashy combat. But they show, like, one of the things they talked about is without having super complex controls on mobile, they were able to make a solid game. So hopefully the combat feels satisfying and it's not like super button mashy and
not a bunch of quick time events.
Right. There's a lot of things that could go wrong with translating a series like that from mobile to console. So but we'll definitely keep our eye on it.
If it plays the way it looks, then we're in luck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next game was a new game from Giant Squid. It
Hell
looked
yeah.
like Journey, and then it looked like the sword turned into a like hoverboard, and
Mm-hmm.
so just
No, that
everything
game
about
looks sick.
everything
This game.
about that trailer. Sword of the Sea for anybody who wants to know. Sword of the Sea was the name of that game, and like I really liked Abzu. The Pathless wasn't as much for me, but to see them
Yeah.
like it was a lot of the team that worked on Journey that left that game company when they went to go work on Sky. And after playing and beating Abzu and like playing what I played of the Pathless, like I'm excited for their next game. So
Yeah, me too.
that looks really good. The next thing we got was the Talos Principle 2. Next
I mean,
game.
Talos Principle 1 was all right. Not the. I'm not into that type of puzzle game, really.
Yeah, nothing about like the puzzle games that I play have shown that the Talos Principle is one I should check out. But the next game is from the makers of Gree. It's Neva.
Oh yeah.
That trailer
Yeah,
was
Neva.
really.
Bro.
Yep.
It stood out a lot. Like a lot of great graphical, like the style of it. We're still not 100% sure what the game itself is, but considering Gree was just like a platformer that Madrid,
Mhm.
you played and beat all that on stream, right?
Yeah. I love Gree.
Yeah,
Good game.
good game.
Gree.
I
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Yeah, like Princess Afro Mononoke type vibes. I'm with it.
Who lost her giant pup and got a new
the
tinier
little
pup?
pup was with her.
Little pup.
It's just the little
little pup
pup's
was there the entire
Yeah.
mom
What?
or dad.
Oh.
She just got she just got promoted to full-time mom.
Yeah.
So then the next game they showed was Cat Quest Pirates of the Caribbean. This is when, in my opinion,
This is when you took your headset off in frustration.
this is when the showcase started going off the rails. I was like, okay, it's a marketing deal. It's fine. It's here. I know the Cat Quest games apparently sell really well, but like it just kind of didn't fit the tone of the showcase. Because before this,
What was the tone of the showcase?
well, before Cat Quest, it like seemed like they showed a lot of follow-ups to things. Like they wanted to associate a lot of these brands with PlayStation. So Helldivers was available on PC, and while that was a PlayStation second-party game, like Fair Games being a first-party, Helldivers being a second-party, and then going into a AAA EA game, then getting Ghost Runner 2, and then getting Phantom Blade 0, and then Sword of the Sea, like having all of these back to back, it felt like the beginning of a PlayStation showcase. Like it felt more traditional. But then Cat Quest happened, and that was the first kind of like sign that this was going off the rails. But it really goes off the rails later on. The next thing we got was a Square Enix shooter. Like this is just because we didn't get the name of it until the very end of the trailer. So I was like, Square Enix shooter. It looked like the music was very Persona-esque. The art style was very Fortnite, and the gameplay looked very Splatoon.
Like the character designs
Yeah.
made me think of something like off of Dislight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the character, like the main character in that trailer, was just straight up like almost indistinguishable from one of the Battle Pass skins last season in Fortnite. Like when I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, these like everybody says anything with a cartoony vibe is Fortnite." Foam Stars, straight up looks like Fortnite.
Yeah,
Like it looks
I
like
mean, it
Fortnite
is-
characters playing Splatoon.
it's straight up just Splatoon.
Straight up. Yeah.
And my hope for this game is that it's a PlayStation Plus Essentials and that it's free for the first month, and that Square Enix is not going to try and charge a full $60 to $70 for this game. Because
Yeah,
there
they'd be
is
smoking
no
dicks
way.
if they were.
For sure.
That's why I'm hoping.
Listen to
they
me,
do the
Square. You're
rocket
smoking
thing.
dicks if you try to charge us full price for this game. I'm not saying that the game is going to be shit or it's not going to be fun, but this type of game there needs to be a low barrier of entry, especially if you want people playing in groups, because it's one thing to convince one person to buy something
Right.
at full price, but to try and convince multiple and their friends specifically, they're like, no, you're smoking dicks. I'm not paying $70 for this shit. For PlayStation Splatoon?
No.
Nah.
All right. So the next game.
She's
they
straight up
showed-
using a needler. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, she's straight up. There. When I tell you this game feels like just stealing elements from a bunch of games.
So much.
It was made by an AI program. Like,
Yeah.
AI came up with the idea, and the people just filled in the blanks.
So Persona,
makes so much
Fortnite,
sense.
Halo, Splatoon, like just feed all those into an AI algorithm, and Foam Stars is what you get.
It's the last thing I thought I'd get, but that's fair.
All right.
Right.
So the next game they showed was another Devolver joint, the Plucky Squire. We knew
Bro, this game looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah,
we knew
Plucky
this
Squire's
game was
gonna be that shit.
coming to Xbox. I want to say it was part of the Xbox's showcase
Yeah.
last summer, but we had
Mhm.
no confirmation it was coming to PlayStation until now. And we got more of like a story trailer. We got like character names and like kind of some of the loose outlines of the story. Like it still looks sick. Like every time they've shown this game, it's like I know
Mhm.
it's gonna be linear, but it kind of has that like it has a lot of unique gameplay ideas that is going to be throwing a bunch into one game. So
Yeah.
Plucky Squire has always looked great, still looks great. The next game, Jesus, Teardown. How are you having a trailer in a PlayStation showcase with a low frame rate? Like, I know Teardown is one of those games that on PC with mods, like people will bring their 40 series graphics card down to its knees. Like everything is voxel based and has real time physics destruction, so I get it being a really demanding game, but
Mhm.
even without mods and stuff, like the fact that the game looked like it was running at 30 frames per second, and then the trailer had frame issues, and that's not something you want to see.
Mhm.
Like sure, I know Teardown has an audience. I might check it out on PlayStation, but when I say like my PlayStation runs games better than my PC, and that game looked like it was running on my PC, that's how bad. Like, yeah. Then the next trailer we got, it was one of the biggest ones, but I thought it was just like something like wild. It just was like a National Geographic going down the food chain of like animals killing other animals. And then it ended with Snake eating a snake. So we got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. So where that long rumored remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 coming to PlayStation. The crazy part about it is we didn't get a Konami logo. We didn't get any information about who's making it. We didn't, and then after the fact, Xbox came out and with a graphic of just like all these games are also coming to Xbox, and Snake Eater was on that list. So it'll be interesting to see who's making this game, when it's coming out. Like,
and we're also getting a remastered collection?
Yeah, after that they talked about the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, which is going to have Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, the original versions, even though I want to say all of those games have more modern versions. So
It's whatever's easier for him.
yeah, I mean, it is
If it
good
is-
for a preservation standpoint to get those. And later on, we found out that the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 are also going to be part of this collection. And the fact that they're calling it Master Collection Volume 1, maybe finally we'll be getting Metal Gear Solid 4 off of being stranded on the PS3. Because that still in 2023 is the only way to play Metal Gear Solid 4 is on a PS3
Wild.
or emulated.
That is.
So getting that off and onto more platforms is going to be a great thing. hopefully there is a volume 2. You know, I have such little faith in Konami with stuff like
Right.
this that hopefully there is a volume 2, and you know they could throw Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid 4, maybe Metal even 5, like do Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain as part of that. So the next one, this is another one where I took notes. Like they didn't give us they gave us a title at the end, and it wasn't an IP I was familiar with. So it's like they have a fake language. There's like some sort of a building aspect to this. There's a glider like Breath of the Wild. There are monsters. There's a bow like Breath of the Wild. This is the point where I'm actually starting to get bored of this showcase. But the name of the game is Towers of Agasba.
Yeah.
And yeah, at this
It's not for
point,
me.
yeah, that game's not for me. But at this point in the showcase, I was just kind of not really vibing with what they had going on. So
Yeah.
next, they showed a trailer for Final Fantasy XVI, which I don't feel like we needed another trailer. Like I think you guys,
We didn't, but this one kind of felt like this is the last trailer.
but it's not. I knowing Square Enix and considering they didn't announce the demo, because that's what I was hoping. They showed the
Yeah,
trailer.
me too.
I'm like, oh, we're going to be getting the demo. That's
Got me getting retroactively disappointed. I'm like, oh yeah, they didn't show the demo.
right. So that was. I'm tired of them showing these games at PlayStation things. It was like when they showed.
You know it's
Street
coming,
Fighter.
damn it! Just give it to us. Just give us the
Right, you've
fucking date.
announced the demo already.
Give us the fucking date.
So
I'm gonna
then,
blame Square for that one though.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just we got another trailer for 16. I don't know who they're selling with these trailers because I feel like everybody who is on board would have been on board already by this point, and the people who are still
Yeah.
on the fence, I don't feel like that trailer did anything to sway them. I feel like a demo definitely would have done that, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, I mean, with everything they've shown at this point, like trailers aren't going to get someone to buy in. You got to let them like have a little taste of it.
Right.
Yeah, but I feel like the trailer is kind of to complement the like the previews that have been coming out for 16, because you know a lot of people have been like posting their thoughts on it, like their time with actually getting to play. Like I don't know if it was the demo, but just like the first few hours of the game, like 6 hours or so.
All right.
So that makes sense, I guess, marketing wise. But
You know what that means? Way to see the better side.
All right, so the next game they showed, because
That's
I
right.
see we're pushing up on Madrid's time crunch, so I'm going to try and get through this. The next game they showed was Alan Wake 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
it has a
like,
black female playable protagonist, more like Alan Woke.
I mean, if that's a problem for you, you know,
Isn't that what they said about Control? Didn't that happen with Control?
that they had a female.
Alan Wake's going woke.
Then they showed Assassin's Creed Mirage. The trailer, there was a bunch of time of day shit. It's like he'd punch somebody, and then it'd be like morning, noon, night. Like the time of day would shift during like the one specific. And it's like, okay, we get it. Assassin's Creed games have time of day systems.
Whoa,
It did look like
Never seen that before.
it did look like old school Assassin's Creed, and I know a lot of people that have been clamoring for Assassin's Creed to stop being such an RPG and to kind of go back to the roots of it being like just kind of an open world. Like I got a lot of Assassin's Creed 2 vibes out of it, and so for people who want that, I mean, it's there. The next game we got was Revenant Hill, which seems like a follow-up to Night in the Woods. But one of the things is like one of the key designers on that game apparently committed suicide after Night in the Woods came out. So like that was why a lot of people saw the cat and it got like a big reaction, was like they weren't expecting any more games from this studio. So we got that. We got Grand Blue Relink. We got a new trailer for that. Looks like that game's actually coming out because that game's been in development hell for a really long time.
It looks solid.
Yeah, it looks solid, but all of these JRPGs after 16,
It's in that tier of JRPG that you would want to play, like action wise, you know.
yeah,
And
but
I'm okay with that.
the thing, all of these action JRPGs that showed up in the showcase after Final Fantasy 16, it was just like you pale in comparison. Like the action RPG is
You might feel that way, but
Yeah.
me, I'm just like more.
okay. So the
It's kinda
next
cool.
game we
Finally,
got
some playable Grand Blue that's not a fighting game.
right.
Yeah, like, we
the
don't have
more
Grand Blue over here.
You know, I'm all here for getting more Grand Blue in the
I
West.
don't know. It don't sound like it. It sounds like you just like, oh, why would they put that damn game out? It's been in development hell.
No, I was like the game's actually coming out. And it has been in development hell. That's not my fault. I'm not working on the game.
Yeah, I remember when it was a platinum game. But you know, that might be for the best that it's not.
That's it's really sad the position Platinum's been in lately. The next game they showed was Street Fighter 6. We got a story trailer. That game is out in less than a week. They were just
Yeah.
like, here,
Yeah.
it's happening. You are like, we already announced all the playable characters. We already announced. Like, it
Mhm.
didn't show anything new. Like, we knew what
Yeah.
the World Tour mode was going to be, and they just showed more of it for people who aren't following every beat of Street Fighter 6 information like we are.
Yeah.
Then they showed
More Lil Wayne. More Lil Wayne. They're like, yeah, this wasn't just for a showcase. Like, we got them for commercials too. That just means there's going to be more Lil Wayne just throughout the life cycle of Street Fighter 6. If this trend continues, he's gonna be at fucking Capcom Cup presenting the goddamn check with $1 million on it.
Bro, that would be sick.
It would be. They might as well do it.
Best to pick your character and get to practice.
Take
Right.
Wheezy to
You gonna
Evo.
run into Lil
That could
Wayne
be
on the
Wheezy?
streets?
Wheezy F baby, and the F is for fighters because that's what he does in the streets.
Hey.
All right, so the next game they showed was a Metroidvania that seemed super colorful. It's called Ultros. It didn't really appeal to me, but I'm like,
Yeah, it gave me some some Dead Cell type vibes.
yeah, Dead Cell's a little bit of Hollow Knight, but colorful. Like, yeah, but I mean, it's another Metroidvania. Like, every year we're guaranteed to get at least one that's good. So,
Sure.
next they showed there was a Bandai Namco mech anime game that looked like Genshin. I thought it was them showing Blue Protocol, but apparently it's not Blue Protocol. It's Tower
Yeah.
of Fantasy, which is
Out for a minute. Well, that's been out on mobile and PC for a good minute.
right, and so now it's coming to console. It seems really like
Console revitalization, because hey, that game did not last long with me. I'll tell you what.
yeah.
It didn't have that hit in it.
Nah. There's a certain level of crack Mihoyo versus figured out that a lot of the other gacha companies haven't figured out yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then after that trailer, there was a Capcom splash screen that got me hyped because it had realistic graphics in the background, and I thought they were going to announce the new Monster Hunter game, but it was Dragon's Dogma 2. So it still looks good.
Oh yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 looks great, and as somebody who hasn't played it, I'm sold.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who has played it, I'm like, we're back, baby.
It had black people and lion women in it, and like Final Fantasy don't get that.
Yeah. I mean, this is the one like Japanese action role-playing game that showed up after Final Fantasy that I was like, oh yeah, this looks really good. Like the combat looked fluid. Like the particle effects were on 10. It was, yeah.
Yo, I was saying this last night. I'm like, damn, Capcom damn near got the fucking Thanos gauntlet. All they need to do is announce the new Monster Hunter, and they're like this.
Well,
Just
then,
fucking.
here's what
we
we
got
need
it.
out of Capcom. We need a new Mega Man. We needed like
They've been feeding us with collections though.
yeah, but
Yeah,
like
honestly,
the
Mega
thing
Man-
was they did the Legacy Collection 1 and 2, then they did the X Collection 1 and 2, and then they put
Mhm.
out Mega Man 11. So now what I'm hoping for is now that they've done the ZX Advent Collection and they've done the Battle Network Collection, that we'll get something more in the Battle Network RPG side. We still need the Mega Man Legends Collection of 1 and 2, and then they could revitalize 3
Give me that
because I
shit.
trust in Capcom to actually do something like that. All right.
Give me that shit.
So then we got into the VR section.
Oh yeah, we can.
They
Beat
showed-
Resident
Saber.
Evil 4, that's fine.
They showed
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, Resident
Yeah.
Evil
Saber,
4,
that's fine.
Arizona Sunshine.
Jalen, what did you say? Piss break.
Yep.
It was so funny. Jalen, like I saw that shit hit the Discord. I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, oh. They're right.
All right. The one big thing for that is that Beat Saber was out now and it had a free upgrade. So I got the PSVR 2 version of Beat Saber. I don't have PSVR 2 yet, but if I ever get it, I know I'll have Resident Evil 8, Gran Turismo 7, Humanity, Tetris Effect, and Beat Saber.
RE4 if you really want it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't already own RE4. I do already own RE Village, so
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
these are just the games that I already own that have PSVR 2 modes. That, yeah.
Gotcha. I'm here. We're here now.
Then after the PSVR 2 section, we got a trailer from Bungie. We got Marathon. Marathon's getting a revival. It was rumored. It's not Matter. I knew we'd be getting one of the Bungie games that they had in development. I thought it would be Matter, their hero shooter, but it was Marathon. It's going to
Which
be
is
an
an extraction shooter. And
Yeah.
so I've never seen it goes from sky high to down in hell so quickly.
right. It's PvP only.
Yep.
So it's no single player campaign.
Hope y'all are ready for Sci-Fi Tarkov. 'Cause
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm down to check it out.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
I'm
fine.
actually better with that than a hero shooter right now.
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
I just want a single player shooter with some weird fucking space lore. Because no one does weird
Yeah.
fucking space lore like Bungie does. Like
Yeah. And I
between
think
like,
Bungie's
Marathon
gonna do
itself, like Marathon is like
True.
the weirdest space lore.
So,
Like it's only modern Destiny that could actually compete in terms of like how fucking weird that space lore is getting. Because right now with Destiny, it's like we're talking to giant leviathans in the sea or some shit like that.
yeah, that's in the current season of Destiny. But the Marathon trailer ended with the Bungie logo, and then the Bungie logo went from the Marathon style to the Destiny style, and they showed the first trailer for the final shape. They're bringing back Cade with Nathan Fillion since Lance Reddick's no longer going to be one of the Vanguards. Rest in peace. They brought back Nathan Fillion and Cade. Like, I knew Cade was going to come back eventually. So, but I mean, I guess now is the best time for them to do it. And looking at the trailer, it looked like Ikora and Cade were inside the Traveler. So that'll be really interesting.
I have zero clue what the fuck's going on with Destiny right now.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I
I'm
ever
not
will.
Basically, what has happened is that we're setting up the final shape. That's literally everything about Destiny is coming to the final shape. That's
and
what
this
it
is the first trailer we got for the final. So we've known that the next like big expansion was going to. We knew since before. Not Lightfall. What was,
No, it was around Lightfall. Everyone thought Final Shape was going to be next, but then it was Lightfall.
No, I'm not talking about Lightfall. What was the one where the pyramids first showed up in Destiny 2?
Oh, that
Beyond
was...
Light.
Beyond
We've known
Light.
since Beyond Light that the final shape was going to be like the next big story arc. Because they talked about it that far back, and it's been since then we've gotten Witch Queen and we've gotten Lightfall, and so now we know the next big one is the final shape. So
this is the end of the whole Traveler versus the Darkness arc of it. Like
Right. So-
everything that has been Destiny this entire time, it's coming up to a head with
Right. This
and
is
to an
the
end, like-
Endwalker.
yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say they're getting ready for 7.0 after that.
Yeah, I mean, heck, if I've been following the lore correctly, like after this, we're gonna go into Guardian War. That whole thing Anna Bray's been trying to time travel her way out of.
Oh, that'll
No.
be interesting.
The other Bray,
Pretty cool.
the no time to explain Bray, the one who bothered not to tell us shit. That could probably help.
Right. The Darkness Vanguard.
Yeah.
All right. So then they show Firewalk showed their game, Concord. They showed literally nothing.
Literally,
They showed some plants on a spaceship and then the dashboard of a spaceship flying into what looked like hyperspace.
while playing Conveyance the entire time. That's the only notable thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like, the
that was
logo
weird.
treatment was cool. Like, the vibes of the trailer were cool, but I don't know what that game is.
Right.
But, and for that to have been one of the, like, three first-party PlayStation games shown at the showcase, it was kind of disappointing. Then they showed another trailer for the Gran Turismo movie. Okay, I'll be there. I know,
I'm gonna watch it.
like, I'm a Gran Turismo fan, but I don't feel like Gran Turismo is the PlayStation IP that has been begging for a movie. But, you know,
Ironically, this might be their best one.
Probably.
well, I mean, it's not
I
going
mean,
to
who doesn't love a good racing movie?
Movie.
Yeah, movie.
But I
Not
mean, the
the
only
main
other
film.
movie they've done is Uncharted, and it is not hard to beat Uncharted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, HBO, that was a part of that. And HBO has been like prestige television for like the past 20 something years.
And I mean, between now and then, we're going to get Twisted Metal on the cock, so.
On the cack. Starring Anthony Mackie.
All right.
I did expect Anthony Mackie to come up like, yo, it's me. Anthony Mackie.
I was really hoping we would see the Twisted Metal. Something.
Yeah, but instead, like, the one thing we got for a PlayStation, like, movie or TV show was Gran Turismo. Which, okay, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fine.
All right.
Different car.
So then we got Jim Ryan showed up for the second time. He showed up the first time right after Haven's game to kind of introduce the showcase, and then he showed up again to give us Project Q, the remote play handheld that somehow is going to try and make me, like, convince me to get it when I have this in my hand. For audio listeners, I just held up my backbone. It looks like a DualSense cut in half,
Cut in half.
remove the touchpad, and put like an 8-inch LCD screen right there.
Yo.
For
It
remote
is
It's
play.
straight up.
It is ugly.
It is the vibe of like a 2008 concept of what the next
PSP.
console was going to be. It's not. Yeah, the next PSP is not good.
It's oh man, that shit
And then it
does not
like,
look cool. It's got zero riz.
because it has adaptive triggers and the haptics. I have a feeling it's gonna be expensive because these controllers are already like $70 a piece. So that means
I
like
can't get over the fucking backbone being $100.
yeah, but I mean, at least the
it's not terrible.
backbone, like yeah, the backbone's not terrible, and it's
It
using
does more than a controller.
yeah. So what I'm expecting is that because this is going to have a screen and remote play capabilities, that this is going to be like $200, and it's definitely not going to be worth it.
Nah. Absolutely
No,
not.
absolutely. And it's just straight. And like, I get it that the backbone, like,
I think they
your
might try
phone
to
has
stream it.
ability to like your phone has the ability to use data. Like, if you can only stream PS5 games, where are you going to be? Can't take it on the go like you can your Switch or Steam Deck
Right.
unless it
Right.
has data itself.
It doesn't look like you want to take that shit anywhere either. Like
It
the
looks like it's
design
gonna
of it
It
is not
only works
conducive for
over
that.
Wi-Fi. Like that's the crazy
This
part.
shit
Like
looks
what is there?
like the Steam Deck is built to take places. It doesn't look like it's gonna break. That thing looks like
I'm trying to figure out
Man.
what is their use case. Like the PlayStation's the TV is the console that's on the main TV of the house, and it's like, all right, your family wants to watch fucking
a movie, but you still want to play your goddamn PlayStation, so you can pull up your little remote play hybrid bullshit
But why
and run a
would
couple
you do
games.
that when you can remote play to like iPad or something and hook up a regular ass DualSense and have that set up, or you could have a backbone for probably half the price with
Yeah,
and
I
do it
would
on your
say
phone.
more than like, it's more than
just,
likely to be 1/4.
they should have just did a new Vita, because this, like, the use case is shit. Like,
Yeah, I
It's
remember
bad.
when this
what am I
was
going to use this for?
rumored,
When I
I
want to
was
when I want to
like,
go to the bathroom real quick?
I mean,
I
could
mean, yeah, it's
I don't want to carry that shit around my house all like. Anyway, it doesn't look comfortable.
mm-mm.
right, and it's not sleek. It's not like one of those
No.
things you just want to kind of like throw it in the backpack, you know.
No,
It's ugly.
it's not.
Then the other
At
thing
least make it
he
all black.
announced was the earbuds.
The
Those look cool.
earbuds look clean.
Those look good.
They
I hate
look
to say it.
clean. I just know how Sony is.
They're not gonna be great.
They're not gonna have the Sony audio quality that we expect out of Sony headphones, and they're probably
Mhm.
going to be more expensive than AirPods and lower quality than AirPods. So
They make the best. They make the best over here headphone, and they can't get audio for PlayStation right.
right, like that's the thing. I chose to get a SteelSeries for my PlayStation over getting a Pulse 3D because, like, they even in the over-ear headphone category on the PlayStation, and they don't do a good job. So I have little to no faith in those. Like I was talking with D about it on Table Cheese, and I was just basically like, yeah, we need, like, my recommendation is go get yourself a pair of AirPods, like,
Yeah,
or like any
honestly.
like there are Beats that are on Fat Kid deals for like $60 right now that like are probably going to be better quality than those. Like I know Beats isn't like as good as it used to be, and it never really was that great, but it's still probably going to be better than these PlayStation headphones.
Yeah,
All right,
I did just like the juxtaposition of they showed off this handheld that I was just like, this looks like trash. Oh, those headphones look cool though.
Right.
Right, they showed the lineup of like a PS5, which it's weird that they didn't take that opportunity to talk about the detachable disc drive version that's probably coming out at the end of this year.
Yeah, they're not ready to announce that
I
one
don't
yet.
think they were ready for this showcase.
Right, but they didn't. They had no reason to do it,
Yeah,
and so they closed out with the third and final Sony first-party AAA
The only
game.
thing that was important for this whole entire, the only thing that was important.
Right,
Yeah.
they showed.
This made like, I left the showcase on a high, so I didn't really have enough. They gaslit me. Damn, I didn't have enough time to think about how otherwise like middling the rest of it was.
But
yeah.
they showed.
I mean, they did it for a reason.
Going into the trailer, I was super scared because the dude that was hunting Craven looked like a Horizon character, and I was like, dear God, no. Do not end this showcase with a fucking Horizon game. Please, God, no. Like,
Oh no, I saw that. I was like, yeah, this is Spider-Man.
oh no, I saw the dude had like head tattoos and shit. I was like, oh no, this looks so Horizon. But then like the second Craven came in, I was like, oh, okay, that's obviously Craven, and this is obviously Spider-Man. So I was cool after that, but going into it, I was like, they had been fumbling the ball for so long with this showcase that I could have seen them closing out with a Horizon game, and that would have like taken this overall showcase. I give this showcase like a low B. If it had ended with a Horizon, it would have been a straight up F. Like the Spider-Man game, like
They really brought it back up.
yeah, the Spider-Man really did a lot. It was 10 minutes of gameplay, showed the symbiote suit.
It
showed
answered a lot
new
of questions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Showed you
It's
switching
a
from
really
Peter to
good show.
Miles. Like,
You see Peter fucking losing it. You
Yeah.
can see the fact that he's losing it,
Edgy Peter.
right?
but I will say, like, that was a really good showing out of the game. Like, I was expecting the showcase to open with Spider-Man and then go on to like more interesting things. throw it
No,
out,
because
so-
they knew they saw the state of their play and was like, all right, we got to end this with Spider-Man because we can't start this with Spider-Man because it's just going to be disappointing afterwards. But if we end it with it, it's a statement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Sony wasn't here to put their dick on the table.
Which
No,
that's really what I thought they were here for, but I guess that's not.
Yeah,
that's okay.
you know, it's not a PlayStation showcase. You know, because what's a PlayStation showcase?
And then the
They
thing,
need to establish that.
a couple of notes that I added during the Spider-Man thing. I didn't like the fact that they showed stealth gameplay. Like, it
I
looked
mean, is
like
that just gonna be?
yeah, I mean that's part of the thing. And then the other
Why not?
thing that I noticed was they never put a date. Like we still don't have a date for Spider-Man 2, and it's supposed to be
Fall.
coming out. Yeah,
It's
we've
fall.
known fall. Huh?
Exactly.
When it fall?
That's not a date.
They're probably going to drop the date. When does Into the Spider-Verse come out?
This week.
This month?
Yeah,
This week?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like Friday.
Getting
probably
advertised
get it.
all over the place.
I see.
Oh, that would be cool if they dropped the date at the end of that movie.
No, they better drop like shortened version of the trailer at the beginning. Like in the trailers for Into the Spider-Verse, they should have like a shortened version of like because that 10-minute gameplay, like it was good for like as part of a showcase, but that would not play well. It's just like a pre-roll trailer.
No, it wouldn't.
So cut that up, make that like trailer ready, and put the date at the end of that before Into the Spider-Verse.
Just show me like Black Suit Peter fucking bicycle kicking a thug.
Right. You
And
have
then-
no pelvis now. You
And
lose
then
your pelvis privilege.
wailing on them with fucking tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just gonna be cool. I don't care. That's just gonna be cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I can't wait till fall.
All right. Well, does anybody have one more thing before we wrap?
No.
Oh.
All right. All right. Well, this has been a Know It's Good production. The video version is edited by Lana Twistamon. The audio version is edited by Akumasanti. Till next time, keep it cheesy.